Speaking of basketball, I'm going to give Kevin Durant some love today.
Okay.
This is another sign that Jesus is definitely coming back because
Mm,
I feel like I'm having some warm affection for Kevin Durant.
mm.
I never expected this to happen
Yeah, because
to me.
sometimes we bring them up and you don't normally seem too enthusiastic about them.
No, and I go
Okay.
straight to the ankles in the hair. Like I'm,
Yeah.
I'm so petty with it too. I'm so petty. I'm like straight for some moisture in a brush, But I'm not gonna do this to him today because he feels. I feel like either he's evolving or I'm evolving, or maybe we're both
Mm,
evolving. But so he was at playing a game last night at the Mavs in Dallas. It was a sold out arena. He's coming onto the court. He plays for Phoenix, and some lady yells out, "You bitch!"
mm,
and he hears it, so he stops and he turns around and confronts her. And as all cowards, she could,
mm-hmm.
because here's people that we're so used to just yelling and saying stuff to people. We don't ever expect somebody to
Right.
come and Fondy Willis our ass. We don't
Yep.
expect that, which is why it's important that we do this, so
Mm-hmm.
that, and then show an example of it, so that people don't get beside yourself just because it ain't happened.
Mm-hmm.
So Kevin Durant, 7'1" ass, walked over to the lady with her husband, and then she put her hand out, tried to give him some dap, and he was like, "Bitch." Like, who
Right.
you calling a bitch? He turned into Queen Latifah. I said, "Oh, this
Yes.
is about to go down." I don't know if it's gonna be Queen Latifah from that movie with Jada. What's gonna happen? So I got my popcorn. I'm watching it, and
Mm,
she's trying to explain herself. And he was like, "Why you got to, what?" And then the husband's trying to tell him about a podcast, and then he
oh my
waved him off.
God.
He gave him the yuck face and the mush, and went on back out. But he said, my thing was like, even though you called me a bitch as I'm running out with my back turned, coward.
Mm-hmm.
People usually do that. I People call me a coward, but my back was turned and it
Mm,
wasn't too many people around. So I know you didn't mean that, and I'm not going to get you kicked out. So he was being a gentleman.
mm,
I'm not going to get you kicked out because you paid your money for those tickets. You had a couple of drinks, and I understand how people get, but it's better ways to try to get my attention and
mm,
talk to me other than calling me a bitch, calling me out my name, because you're protected in those arenas.
mm.
They lost, by the way, 123 to 113, because I just had to say that. And
Yeah.
Durant finished with 23 points. But before the game, he had to address this because it was all on camera. And he said, I can't go do nothing to you. It's gonna,
Right.
it's gonna mess up everything that I built, because that's what,
Mm-hmm.
we saw that brawl in the, we've
Yeah.
seen this
Malice at the
before.
Palace. Yeah. They relying on that. They relying on the fact that if you hit, what did Jay-Z say? If I shoot you, I'm brainless. If you shoot me, you famous. What am I to do? That's basically what they're doing when they get behind that. I don't think it's any coincidence that the majority of these incidents seem to be happening in the NBA between black players and white fans. Russell Westbrook has had to do this multiple times. He's talked about, and then that started a deluge of people coming out being like, playing in Utah sucks because these
Right.
people are super disrespectful to us as athletes. So there's a
And
racial
the
element to it.
family, I think, whose mother, somebody's wife was
Yes,
accosted by
yes,
fans. Like, it's like
yeah,
like, just because you bought a ticket, you think you could just.
right.
So
Nah.
so he said, I can't do anything to you because it'll ruin everything I built up. He said there are better ways to talk to people. There are better ways to get the attention. And and he said, I didn't get them kicked out, and it wasn't that big a deal. He said it's like they don't look at us as humans
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. So when you get a chance to let a person know how you feel real quick, then they'll backtrack. And that's exactly what happened. See, we're animals. We're circus acts to them. We're
Mm.
entertainers to them instead of real people. Come on through, Kevin. I got more Kevin Durant for
That's
you.
why I think that's one of the reasons he's grown on a lot of people. Kevin's don't really want to play the game of trying to be the most liked guy in the NBA. And it's been that way for years. Like, he'll clap back on Twitter sometimes as some random person that didn't even tag him. He'll just be like, man, what the hell you know about basketball? You're like, whoa. But I think the authenticity, there's something about it because
Yes.
if you watched All-Star Weekend, we're at the point where these guys are such powerful individual brands that they're afraid to be themselves in any capacity. They're afraid to play hard during the All-Star game. They're afraid to get in the dunk contest and possibly lose. Like, it's all about that big capital B brand. And Kevin Durant's one of the people that kind of seem like at some point decided like, nah, I don't want to do that. I'm good at basketball, and then I'm just gonna be real on everything else, and I respect it.
I think when he almost lost his career with the Achilles injury, I think something changed in him because he was a sucker ass sucker going to play with the Warriors. That was a sucker ass non-competitive punk ass move. But when your whole career flashes before your eyes and you could never do this again because that Achilles injury, as Klay Thompson, is not to be played with.
Yeah,
I think something changed
well,
in him.
I think honestly, I think it was Draymond calling him a B. That was when I think it changed because I think when he went to Golden State, it still was clear on the pecking order. This man's the best player in the NBA. Like, I'm a LeBron James stand to my toes, 10 toes down. I think he's better than Jordan. I'm that blasphemous with it. But when Kevin Durant and them went to Cleveland, I don't know if you remember, they went to Cleveland. And Kevin Durant basically made the rest of the Warriors, they just spaced out and got out of his way. And this man went down, and it felt like every bucket he hit. I watched that damn game at Cabo Fish Tacos, mad as hell. I was like, oh, I hate him. He went to the good team, and he doing this. But the way he was scoring, I felt like he could have did it to anybody. So to do that, for that roster, after they begged you to come there, and this man called you a B word, nah, bruh. That had to do something to him. I think he realized you can't win, and I think he got caught chasing rings, which is fine. Because we definitely gonna, if you don't win a ring, we gonna hold it against you in a way we used not to. Ain't no more Charles Barkley's. Okay,
right.
Well, we
Patrick
respect
Ewing's,
you. Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We don't do that no more. You ain't win a ring, you ain't nobody to these people. So he got his rings, but I feel like after he paid the cost and got called a B word, he said, never again. Forget it.
And he ain't gonna let apparently anybody call him a bitch. So
no, nobody.
Ain't nobody gonna. I don't care who it is. Ain't nobody gonna call. And I love that about him. I also love his exuberance for the game because for me, we're still talking about a game, a child's game. It's basketball that people get to live out their dreams watching and playing. And there's so many from the NBA, Y2K, or is it NBA 2K?
2K,
video. They got whole leagues of people playing video games of them playing. Like there's money to be made, and it's a beautiful thing. But Kevin Durant loves the game. When what's the guy's name that's out right now that scored 70-something points the other
Embiid.
Embiid scored.
Oh, Embiid. Okay.
No, it was Embiid. Embiid scored those, and Kevin was like, "How many? What?"
Yeah.
And he was so excited. So somebody asked him about LeBron, and this is something I think you and I will appreciate. And those of you whose eyes are glazing over because we not really talking about sports, but get over it. I rarely get to talk about sports because I rarely have somebody that knows what the hell that's here that I'm talking about. They asked him about LeBron, and I loved his answer. So this made me fall in love with him. So when I see him, I'm not even going to talk about him. I'm just going to get down on my hands and knees and rub this Burt's Bees into his ankles for him. And
that's what she should have said.
That's
she didn't have to call him the B word. She should be like, "You ashy ankles. You got ashy ankles." He would turn around.
He wouldn't have. He wouldn't have. But I'm gonna make sure he's right. That's what I'm saying. That's right. Love. That's the love that I got. All right, play the clips, man.
It's like when he was in his 14th, 15th year, I was just like, when he's his 17th, 18th year, it's just like, damn, that's actually is dope. When you're 39 in your 20th year, and then like half your life is in the league, and then you played against like 40% of the players that's ever played in the league, it's just like, that longevity has to mean something. There has to be a standard. Like, if you really truly want to know what greatness is like, of course you can accumulate championships in a short amount of time and accolades in a short amount of time. You can have a nice, quick spurt of moment, but like, I truly appreciate somebody who's been in that shit for a long time. This is his consistency is showing up, and that gotta mean something.
He's the all-time leading scorer.
He showed up, and that's what I appreciate about Bron, and that I overlooked and underestimated when it comes to him. His enthusiasm and love for the game of basketball. And it's that simple. It's not nothing more than that. I know LeBron and his brand is just so much built on top, but the foundation is that. And I think everything he does is a foundation from I just enjoy showing up and I enjoy being who I am in this space every day. And that's something I can appreciate and learn from. Because it's literally that simple for a lot of people that's been in it for a long time.
And this goes beyond basketball. The
Yep.
thing that he was saying, it's the thing I tell my students, showing up is 90% of it, showing up every day, being relied upon, being trustworthy, showing up, doing your best is everything, but having the joy, to do. I know you enjoy the Black Guy Who Tips, doing that with Karen every other day. And, for 15, you don't do something that long.
Yeah, I think,
and that's why it shows in the work too.
I think also it's hard for people to relate to on the outside looking in, because they just see the figure of like this godlike figure that got all the, but at the end of the day, he's a dude that enjoys playing basketball, and he's one of the greatest people to ever do it. And he's 40 and one of the greatest people at playing basketball right now. Like the knock on him is like, well, he ain't top 10 no more. That's crazy. He's 40. You know what I mean? Like what are we even saying? And like I got a homie, a friend of mine that he kind of is on some like, man, why can't he just retire? Why can't he just hang it up? And I'm like, but why would you retire if you're still having fun? Because the assumption is that on some level it's not fun for him. I said this about Serena too. People like, well, after she won that last major, why she didn't just retire? I said, because there's something in the losing too. It's the attempt. We fell in love with the medals. We fall in love with the accomplishments. Oh, well, Lakers ain't even gonna win a ring this year. That might not even be the point for everything he's doing at this point. It's like, I want to go out, get the best out of my body, be around my guys. My sons look up to me. We have a basketball family. You know what I mean? Like, and he enjoys being in his company, in the presence of his peers. And also the other thing that KD may even have a lot of respect for now, LeBron stepped up to be the face of the league. Now, of course, there's a lot that comes with that is rewarding in itself. It helps your brand. But look around at All-Star Weekend. You see how the vacuum of someone that just wants to be the face, that was so absent. People keep wondering how you're going to fix the All-Star game. It's simple. We got to wait on the next great sociopath.